UFC Fight Night Mexico took place last night, and in terms of what I expected for this card, it really did not live up to the expectations. So just before we get to the main talking points, let's just go through some of the prelim stuff. So some of the stuff I want to point out. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Felipe dos Santos is nowhere near as good as what I thought he was, which then means, is Manel Cap as good as what everybody thinks he is? I'm not too sure. Then we go on to Daniel Lacerda. I think this guy's on like a 7, maybe more fight losing streak. Cut him. The guy needs to go. Moving on to the main card, the main talking points. To be honest, there wasn't really much to say about this card. It just wasn't great, in my opinion. On paper, this looked like a really good fight night. And yeah, this was disappointing, to be honest. And if you were a Mexican UFC fan at this event last night, you'd have been disappointed in the results as well. So Daniel Selhuber versus Francisco Prado. Now, in the first round, Prado was doing a really good job of closing the distance against Daniel Selhuber, and when he was able to close the distance, it looked like Daniel Selhuber didn't really know what to do. I didn't think his defense on the inside was great. I didn't think he was doing great work on the inside. But what Daniel Selhuber was doing in this matchup, especially in round 1, that did pay dividends, was the body kicks. At range, Daniel Selhuber is a great striker. You know, the body kicks, I think anyway, really paid dividends into the later rounds. I think Prado did win the first round, in my opinion. I did scored for him, but 2 and 3 definitely went to Daniel Selhuber. What I want to talk about, though, is the corner advice Prado was given. Now, I'm all for trying to hype your fighter up and saying all this shit to get him in the zone, but saying to this guy who's going into the last round, you don't need your eyes to fight. What the fuck are you on about? You don't need your eyes to fight? What does that even mean? But anyway, Prado, tough as hell to stay in there. You know, it could have been stopped, in my opinion, especially when he went back to his corner after the second, I believe. I didn't think they were going to let him out again once he said he couldn't see. But he finished out the fight. I would have liked to have seen Daniel Selhuber get the finish, considering Prado did look to be gassed. Plus, he couldn't see out of one of his eyes. So I would have liked to have seen Daniel Selhuber get the finish there. But anyway, nonetheless, a great win for him. Now, this is what I want to talk about. The co-main and main event. Let's get into the main or co-main event. So, I'm going to hold my hands up here. I was completely wrong. I have slated Brian Ortega countless times, saying he's so overrated. He doesn't deserve this ranking. Now, on the way out to the cage, I thought Brian Ortega didn't really look in fight-ready shape. Didn't think he looked in great shape, to be honest. I thought, it's in Mexico. Yair Rodriguez, we've seen the first matchup. Yair Rodriguez was dominating him on the feet. When it went to the ground, Yair Rodriguez was aggressive and looking for submissions. So, in round 1, Yair Rodriguez drops Brian Ortega and hurts him. And in my head, that's it. It's out. Yair Rodriguez is going to find the finish here. Brian Ortega looked terrible on the feet. But no, Yair Rodriguez, for some bizarre reason, instead of disengaging from Brian Ortega's guard, he decided to follow him up to the mat, where Brian Ortega's realm is the grappling. That's what he's known for. He's not a great striker or anything like that, but what Brian Ortega is an extremely great grappler. Yair Rodriguez ended up in his full guard in round 1. In my opinion, if he had have disengaged, he definitely would have been able to get the finish over Brian Ortega. But anyway, then Brian Ortega starts to implement the grappling. Brian Ortega did take a bit of damage to his eye. What I will say, though, is before the matchup, it looked like Brian Ortega rolled his ankle whenever they were announcing him anyway, but he said later on that didn't affect him. But yeah, Yair Rodriguez was landing really good shots in the first round. Then I believe it was the second round where Brian Ortega really started to implement the grappling, and that is where he cut why can I not speak properly? Yair Rodriguez open with the elbow, and Yair Rodriguez did not attempt any submissions off his back, not as aggressive with submissions as what he normally is, and he did not look to get up. That was the issue. He didn't look to get up when he was on his back. Brian Ortega then in the third round, and it wasn't as if Brian Ortega was out wrestling him or anything, he was just out muscling him pretty much. And in the third round, Brian Ortega was able to find the submission. Fair play to Brian Ortega. I really did not expect that. I still do think the guy's overrated and pretty one-dimensional, but great win to come back and get that win over Yair Rodriguez. What should be next, though? Book Brian Ortega to face Ilia Topuria in the main event of UFC Sphere, which is, I know it's a Mexican holiday, and Ortega and Topuria aren't Mexican. I think Brian Ortega is like a relative's Mexican or something like that. Anyway, he's something to do with Mexico. You know the UFC is going to give him the title shot. I think Topuria, it'd be foolish to have the guy sit out and wait till Volk's ready at the end of the year, the start of next year. So give Brian Ortega the title shot. I think he has earned it after beating Yair Rodriguez. Give him a title shot against Ilia Topuria. Now, how that matchup goes, I think it's just going to be a worst Max Holloway matchup for Ortega. I feel like Topuria will finish Brian Ortega in there. But yeah, Yair Rodriguez just didn't perform. He had that fight won the first round, in my opinion. But for some reason, I don't know, decided to just go, okay, let's just go into Brian Ortega's world and just lose the fight in front of his home people. Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval. Now, Moreno, in my opinion, I did score for him last night. Now, I haven't rewatched this matchup. Now, I know the total strikes are in favour of Brandon Royval. But to me, Brandon Moreno was landing the better shots in there. But Brandon Moreno let Brandon Royval win this matchup. What I mean by that is, and I said this on my watch along, it would be like Brandon Moreno would land some pretty good shots, but then would back off and stand like this and let just Brandon Royval just fucking throw shots, just landing on the forearms and the arms of Moreno, and then he would step out and then engage with something, and then he would be finished with his combination, then it would be standing still like this, and that's what cost him the fight. Brandon Moreno just didn't look the same in there. A lot of these guys didn't look the same in there. I don't know if it's to do with the altitude out in Mexico, but Brandon Moreno threw away that title shot, to be honest. And now it looks like we're going to get Brandon Royval versus Pantoja again. Now, Brandon Royval done what he had to do in there. Yes, he got the win, which obviously he needed to do that to get this title shot. But what else he done was call out Topuria, or not Topuria, what the fuck am I on about? Called out Pantoja, to kind of create a bit of buzz about the matchup. I really don't want to see Royval Pantoja again. It's going to be the same thing. Pantoja's going to out-grapple him for majority of the matchup, then gas in the later stages of the round. But Royval has zero takedown defense, so Pantoja's still going to be able to land those takedowns. But yeah, what should be next for Brandon Moreno is Henry Cejudo has said he wants to stay competing, so call him out to a fight at 125. And that gets yourself back into the title picture if you are able to beat Henry Cejudo, because he is somewhat of a big name. But yeah, very, very disappointing card in my opinion. But yeah, my picks were shit this week. But yeah, the main event and co-main event really disappointed in my opinion. But comment your opinion below. What did you think of UFC Fight Night Mexico? Social medias are linked above. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.